Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a spoiler littered guide to Devil's Crossing, the first hub area of Grim Dawn, the first place you'll be when you spawn, and the first place you'll get completely confused as a new player. So I'm going to create a character called Your Guide. Hopefully she will be. She's going to do her best, yeah? Create that character. So there's a new character. I've got no one else on this roster. It's a fresh start. There's nothing in stash. So everything I show you will be stuff you'll be able to get and see for yourself as a new player. I'm going to go into normal difficulty. Right, I skipped the cutscene. I'm going to slightly zoom out. I'm going to do this. This isn't going to be a guide to how to play the game. This is going to be a guide to all the NPCs, all the stuff, all the things you can do at Devil's Crossing, which is this area that you're in. See at the top right here, it says Devil's Crossing. This is where you spawn in the start of a new game's first hub area. This guy is a quest giver. However, you do not need to take his quest. You can still complete his quest even if you don't take it, because it just involves talking to another NPC. If you go this way, there is a bridge that is broken. You can't cross it. That leads into what is known as Act 2 of the game. To get into Act 2 of the game, you need to repair the bridge. It will take 6 scrap and 3,000 iron bits. At the moment, you have no scrap and no iron bits. So obviously, the game is saying to you, come back later. There's a guy sitting there you can't interact with. There are training dummies here you can hit. When you get skills, you can practice your skills and stuff on the training dummies. There is another bridge here that you can't repair yet. When you repair it later, you will find it costs a heck of a lot of money and scrap to repair, and it will just take you to one little hidden item that may or not be any use to you and probably isn't worth spending the money. It doesn't lead anywhere else. It doesn't lead to any of the map areas or anything like that, so don't worry about it. This is Barnabas. At the moment, you can just talk to him. After you complete the first campaign quest, you will get a quest to come back and talk to him, at which point this trapdoor will open. You can't click on it at the moment. You've got to complete Barnabas's quest and then you can get into that trapdoor area. Guy on the gate doesn't really do much. This guy talks to you. Once you complete this guy's main quest, he will give you a quest to kill 3 enemies, and then when you complete that quest, he will give you a quest to kill 2 more enemies. There is a shopkeeper who is there right from the start. Now, this is the game with the DLCs. If you've got the game without the DLCs, this place pretty much looks the same, and the same kind of guys are here, so don't worry too much about that. Bloke on the gate, he says you can't go in. This is where things like the stash and the NPC that lets you respec points and other stuff, other quest givers, they're all in there. You can't get in yet. You've got to complete this guy's quest. So a whole load of things will change once you complete this guy's quest. He is someone who says he'll remove your illusions. Illusions are just cosmetic ways of making your gear look different. That guy there, Lancel the Knight, not entirely sure he'll be there for you. I bought like some cosmetic-y stuff because I wanted to give the devs some more money, and he will give me all this stuff. So you can buy a bunch of stuff off him for nothing because you've spent real world money on it. But you probably haven't done that yet if you're a new player, so he might not be there, or if he is there, he won't be doing that stuff. There's the rift at Devil's Crossing. This is how you fast travel. I'll show you some more of that in a sec. For now, if you get the map up and look at world map, that's the only rift that's available. All these other rifts that you unlock by traveling to them, by walking past them, you can then travel back here. You've got a personal rift that will let you travel to any of these as well. I'll cover that in a sec. It's not really part of the content of this video. There is a guy in here, Kasparov. Same as the other ones, he's just someone you can talk to, but once you've completed Bourbon's first quest, he will become active and he will give you a quest to collect ether crystals. The reward is 1 skill point. Once you complete that, he'll give you a quest to go and find his lost assistant who's miles away in Burrich Village. Right, so that's all the stuff that's pretty much available when you walk into the game from scratch and you haven't done anything. The only thing you can do is talk to Bourbon. If you hadn't taken the quest off the other guy, you can still talk to Bourbon and get this first quest to go to Burial Hill. Now, what I'll do is I'll show you some stuff on the way there, but because this is a Devil's Crossing guide, I'm not going to show you me running around doing everything. Trust me, I'm level 1. I'm going to go and level up and do some stuff. Actually, here's a really good tip. If you walk to this bridge and stand just there where I am, you can see a crudely scrawled note up there. Now that is inside the prison. You should not be able to reach that. However, if you look at my inventory, if I click on that, boom, she's picked it up. It's a glitch, but it's a glitch they've left in because it's hilarious, and it means that you can read that lore note and get all that XP and almost get to level 2 without doing anything. I'm just going to change this, don't worry too much about it, it's just how I play the game. Right, there's a body on the bridge, the body's always there. First time you come through, you search it, you'll get some random item. Mighty leather pants of ruin. They're obviously better than what I've got, so I'm going to swap them over. So that body was, when you hovered over it and a purple outline around it, worth remembering. If you see stuff on the ground with a purple outline, click it. Right, I'm just going to show you, well, it says lower crossing now, so arguably this isn't the Devil's Crossing guide, but I will show you where there's some decent weapons. Okay, there is a one-handed gun, which is the first decent weapon that you'll find. If you come up here and go in this house, go past the well, kick the door in, go in here, search this body, you'll get a lore note and you'll get a gun. Let's go back to the main road so you can see what I'm doing. That's where I came from. That's where that house is with the gun. Now, some of these paths might be blocked when you come here. If you run round this way and the road's blocked, go back the other way. It's blocked, so I'm going to go back the other way. You can see it's blocked because there's a boulder that's appeared on the map. So I'm going to go straight up the main road. And I'll get you your second rare weapon and we'll compare them and have a little chat about them. Right. So you can see where I am. That's where I came up. That was the house of the gun. Here's another house here. There's a two-handed sword that does lightning damage in here. Just get rid of that insect. There's this body here, rotting corpse. You click on that, same as good old dead Francis Hevel's greatsword. The third weapon you can get very easily. Just follow the route I'm taking back onto the main road. Up here, hang a right. There is a building, this building here. So that was the one where Hevel's greatsword is. There's this one here. There's a body. Out the way, insects. Search this body. Ullman's Axe of the Void. It's just an axe. Right, so that's pretty much enough of the nonsense around here. I'm going to go back and talk about DC a bit more now. So if you just kill these guys off. Right. So if you get the map up, that you can use your rift there, rift travel. You can click on that to put a rift down. You can press out, or if you get the map up, you can just click on the Devil's Crossing rift and you will transport back to it. You will leave your rift where you walked from. So if you click on that now, it will show your rift and you can go back to it. There you go. And then you can click on it and go back to DC. And that stays there even if you die. You can only have one rift down in the world, and that's the one you put down. Okay, so the weapons I picked up. Francis's gun, Hevel's greatsword, Ullman's axe. If you look at that, it does fire damage, it does some physical damage, it's got a fireball chance on attack. That's a pretty good weapon if you're going to start off with someone who's doing fire damage, or even if you just want a decent weapon to start the game and you don't know what type of damage you're going to do, equip that. That's pretty good. There's a two-handed weapon, so you can any class can equip that gun. And you can equip it with a shield, or you can equip it with an offhand. You can put whatever you want in that other hand, but you can't put another gun there unless you have an item that allows you to dual wield guns, or you picked Inquisitor and you took the ranged expertise skill, which lets you dual wield. Again, I'm not going to cover all this stuff in this video. This is a DC guide, not a leveling guide or anything like that. Francis's gun's decent. Hevel's greatsword is lightning damage. It's alright if you want to be a soldier, a shaman, stroke shaman, however you pronounce it. If you want to do two-handed weapon damage, or if you want something that's going to give you a bit of a good start in the game, wield that thing. You can take things out quite easily with that. Ullman's axe is slightly weirder than the other two. It does cold damage and it buffs chaos damage. No, it doesn't. Ignore that. That's the of the void suffix. Ignore the chaos. Forget I said that. Ullman's axe does cold damage and it launches an ice spike chance on attack. Again, you can have a shield or an offhand with that. That'll be okay if you're going to be a Nightblade or an Arcanist or whatever. just look at the skills that you're using in your mastery and pick whichever one of those 3 weapons you think is the best for you. There are masteries that those weapons won't help, but if you're starting off running around and you're not sure what masteries you're going to pick, any of those weapons will be a hell of a lot better than the starting garbage that you had down there. For now, let's have the gun. Right, so what I'll do, this is the state of Devil's Crossing when you first come in. So there's not a lot you can do apart from complete this guy's quest. So what I'll do is I'll go and complete the quest. I won't show all me running up and doing it. It's going to take a few minutes. I'll go up there and I will complete the quest, and then I'll show you what DC looks like once you talk to him and everybody's role slightly changes because all these NPCs become quest givers or whatever. Okay, I've walked back to DC after completing the quest. I'm level 5. If you kill a bare minimum of stuff while completing the main quest, you'll be level 5. You may well be higher level if you've gone around and killed a whole load of other stuff. So the map at the moment, if you look at this, you've got the local map. Will show you where you are. If you click on the things down here, they'll flash, which is useful. Right, so you've got NPCs are showing up. There's no shrines here. It's not showing an illusionist. It's not showing a point of interest or your stash or the inventor or a vendor or the spirit guide or the smith. Now, the stash, the inventor, vendors, well, that's the only guy there. There are others eventually. The spirit guide and the smith, they're all here, although some of them not yet. The things you have to unlock as part of quests, the inventor, that's the guy or the guy's assistant who will let you remove components and augments from bits of gear, and will later, particularly if you've got Forgotten Gods DLC and you complete the quest, let you transmute set items, and will do all sorts of stuff. They're useful, but again, these things are kind of drip fed to you. It's not there to start with. You have to go and rescue her from a location several rift gates away, and then she'll be there for you. There'll be more vendors. You've got to rescue one. That guy's there. You can rescue one. And there'll be a faction vendor inside the prison that will become unlocked. The spirit guides where you respec devotion points and respec skill points. They're not available till you get inside the prison. Then they're immediately available. And the smith, that is where you craft items. The only way of crafting items in the game is a blacksmith. You have to rescue a blacksmith. There's a choice of 2, and they'll appear inside the prison. I'll cover all that in a sec. Right, so we talked to this guy, John Bourbon. I've completed the first campaign quest. Thank you. Right, so watch what happens now. He says, speak to people. That guy gets an exclamation mark over his head. That guy gets an exclamation mark over his head. Barnabas out here gets an exclamation mark over his head, and Kasparov, who is in this room here, gets an exclamation mark over his head. So we'll do him first. So help Kasparov with his research. Okay, so you click on him, and he says he wants 4 ether crystal fragments. That's this stuff. Now, if you've run around and destroyed a bunch of things on the way to the first campaign quest, you will have those in your inventory. If you talk to him, you'll take 4 of them. Ether crystals like these, I feel stronger, right? So you get some XP, 250, and you get a skill point. You lost your apprentice, take that quest. So that you won't be able to complete that quest for a while. That quest's miles away. And if you look at the map, I've only been as far as Lower Crossing Rift. That is a shrine that I haven't claimed, because I'm going to do another video with this character once I've unlocked all the rift gates that are near shrines, and I'm going to show you where all 7 shrines are in Act 1, what you need to do to unlock each of them, where I recommend spending those devotion points. So I'm not going to go and grab those shrines yet. I'm going to do it later on this character and do another video. You're welcome. Right. So I've been putting points into occultist, and yeah, anyone who's looked at the one-shot guide, I just wanted a character that was going to make it easier to run around doing this stuff. Again, it's not a build guide. Right, so I've talked to him and I've got my skill point. I had 3 because I 3 from the level up, 1 from him. If you talk to, I'll do him last. If you talk to this guy, why are you helping me? I want you to kill 3 people. So you get this quest turns up, he gives you some stuff. Slay Pharos the Rotted, slay Julius the Decayed, slay Negan the Withered. So he wants you to kill those 3 named things. If you explore the map, you'll find them. It's not difficult. Help Barnabas. Barnabas wants 5 scrap. I've only got 2. So if you talk to him, where can I find it? I'll get the scrap you need. And it says, help Barnabas with the water pump and collect scrap for Barnabas 2 out of 5. Bring the scrap to Barnabas. So that whole thing there is all to do with Barnabas's quest. Find Kasparov's apprentice. That's miles away. Slay those 3 things. You'll find them as you explore the area outside DC heading north. Right, so that vendor guy, if you pick stuff up that you don't want, there's a buyback panel. You can sell things to him. Now, if you've already decided that you want to do, I don't know, let's say vitality damage, you can put that in the search bar. It'll show you items that he sells that do vitality damage, which is really useful and handy. In the buyback thing, it will highlight, if you try and sell him something, say that, and it does vitality damage, it will highlight it. So you don't worry about accidentally selling stuff. If you know what damage type you want to do or what resistance or anything like that, if you just whack all this stuff in there, I might as well wear that. It'll show you the stuff that does that. Again, that's I got that in other videos, but it's, yeah, once you know there's a search bar there and you can do like a reverse search, so you can search for stuff that's in there and you can try and filter out stuff you're selling by mistake. Should make sense. Right, guy on the gate will say, you killed whatever, I'll let you in. You get some XP and you can go in here. This is where it starts to become a bit more interesting. That's an illusionist. Don't waste your money on this. What this guy does is anything you have found in your travels, you can use how it looks to customize the stuff that you're carrying, how that looks. It doesn't give you any other benefits. It doesn't give you the inherent skills or abilities or buffs that are on whatever this thing was. It just makes what you're wearing look different. So I won't worry too much about the illusionist for now. This is a faction shopkeeper. Each friendly faction has a shopkeeper that sells different stuff. Now, what is available is based on your reputation. At the moment, I'm tolerated. The first panel here is friendly. Then you get respected. Ooh, look at all that. Then you get honoured. And then you get revered. Now, whether or not you need stuff from a particular faction shop does depend on what build you're playing, what damage you're doing, what kind of armour you want to wear, etc, etc. To find out, if it's J, I think J is the default key. You put J up, it will show you anyone you've encountered so far and what your reputation is with them. If you click on a friend, see, these are all bad guys. If you click on a friendly one, it will tell you how much you need to get to friendly. It's a round figure, so it's 1,000 I need to get to friendly. And this is reputation gained from killing Cronley's gang. In Act 1, there's no Cronley's gang. They start appearing in Act 2. So Devil's Crossing is potentially one of the harder factions to earn positive rep with. You can complete quests and you can do bounties. Now bounties, if you go into, this is Bourbon's office down here. Once you've completed all these initial quests, he will spawn in here and stay in here. In his office, there's this Devil's Crossing bounty table. If you click on that, it will say the people of Devil's Crossing do not yet trust you with their innermost needs. A respected reputation is required to access the bounty table. Step away. So you already know what respected rep is because I've just told you. It's that one there, right? So I need 4,500 reputation to get to respected. Once I get to respected, I can start doing bounties for them. So that's immediately a new player will come in here and click on that. Might not even know what respected reputation means because the game doesn't go out of its way to tell you. Right, so what have we done? We've done the illusionist, ignore that guy. We've got faction vendor shop, which isn't really useful until you start earning rep and can unlock these things and start buying stuff. What's in here? You've got weapons, you've got armour, you've got blueprints. Now blueprints, if you remember what I said about the blacksmith craft stuff, he's got a whole load of default stuff he can craft, but other stuff you have to buy a blueprint or find a blueprint in the world from a random drop or get it as a quest reward. It will appear in your inventory. You right click on it to read it like you'd read a lore note. Now you don't learn how to craft stuff, the blacksmith does, but the blacksmith across your roster will remember the blueprints. So if you take this character up to level 50 and think, oh, I'd rather play a different type of character, create a new character from scratch on the same roster, once you rescue the blacksmith on that character, he will know all the learned blueprints that the other character on the roster has already learned, and they will no longer drop. So you shouldn't get duplicates dropping once you've learned them. There are exceptions to that rule if there's a fixed quest reward for a particular blueprint, but don't worry about that. Right, so this guy here, Durrani's a bad guy. Later on, round about the same rough sort of area where you find Kasparov's apprentice, you will find near the Burrich village rift an item called Cultist Orders, which will turn on a quest where you talk to Durrani. You either decide to be nice to him, in which case he'll give you some stuff and he will become a permanent spawning boss in another area and you can kill him over and over, or you can kill him here, get some immediate Devil's Crossing rep and get a Blood of Chthon crafting item, which is a rare crafting item. I tend to kill him all the time because he's just well, you know, he's got that whole evil dude look about him. So yeah, so that's much later. Again, once I've got to Burrich village, I'll show you what it looks like when his quest has been enabled. This lady is a quest giver. She will give you a quest to find / kill a dude. That's just a guy who will talk to you and tell you some stuff. He doesn't really serve any other purpose. If you didn't pick that crudely scrawled note up by using the weird glitch, it'll be there. You can read it now. Top of the map, this character here, if you click on Spirit Guide, nothing flashes yet because you haven't talked to her. You don't know she's a Spirit Guide, but she is. Talk to her and come straight out of the conversation, right? She's now a Spirit Guide. You look on the map and you click Spirit Guide and her icon's flashing up there to show you. If you click on her, you'll get a screen come up and you'll think, well, that's my skills. You can undo skill points. The iron cost is 25 bits. It does go up. If you undo loads and loads of stuff, it will go up. But you can undo it here. So you can reclaim the skill points and undo the points. Now, what you can't do, you can't undo the first point you spent. So you can't undo the mastery choice. Once you've made a mastery choice, you're kind of stuck with it. You can undo all the skills and respec, but you can't get rid of the mastery, right? So just be aware of that. If you've got to level 6 and you're not enjoying playing a particular mastery, just jack it in and start a new character because it doesn't take long, or try different skills and see how you get on with it. That's the Spirit Guide. This lady in here, she just talks to you, but when you get to friendly rep with Devil's Crossing, she will give you a quest. So remember that. Last but by no means least, here is your stash. So if you click on Smuggler, that's flashing now. That's where your stash is. You click on him. It opens by default the first time you go in your personal stash. That item, that thing up there, item transfer, that will switch to shared stash. So any of your characters can access this stuff. Don't be put off by the fact that that's now got a single character up there. That is the button to say switch to single character stash to this character. This is the group stash. What I would recommend, any components that you've got, there's a button up here, move components from the inventory to the currently open stash page. Click on that, start stashing your components in here. If you need them to restore a shrine or to craft stuff at the blacksmith or to do whatever, the game will find them in shared stash or in your personal stash, but I recommend putting them in shared stash. It will find them in shared stash and use them from there. You have not got to carry components around in your inventory. Okay, that's worth knowing. So that's your stash guy up here. Oh yeah, and he's got a search bar, so you can do the same thing. There you go. You can put a search term up there and it will highlight stuff if it finds it. Fantastic, yeah. Right. So that's what Devil's Crossing looks like immediately after you complete the first quest. Now, I need more scrap to access that trapdoor. and I need to do a bunch of other stuff. So I'll do that, and then once I've got the scrap and a few other things, and maybe I've slain those 3 guys and whatever, maybe Milton Heart, we'll get back to this and I'll show you this is what Devil's Crossing looks like when you progress this far. While exploring near the Foggy Bank Rift, once you go slightly north of that, you'll get a quest to rescue the captured caravan driver. He will show up on the map. If you click on that, there he is. There's his gold star flashing. Luther Graves. He's in this cage. This cage can spawn in a few different places. It can spawn down here and up here. There's a few different places it can spawn. All you do is you talk to this guy. I'm from Devil's Crossing. You probably won't like this. I'm pretty sure this is safe. Right, so what you'll notice, once you've rescued him and you go back to DC, he will be standing there. Luther Graves is this guy. When you talk to him, you get a whole bunch of Devil's Crossing rep, 500, which is pretty good. And he turns into another vendor, okay? Which is really good. So you've now got 2. You've got that normal guy there who's a vendor. You've got this guy who you just rescued who's a vendor. That is how you get a second normal vendor in DC. If you're going to try and buy decent stuff with particular things on it, 2 vendors is better than 1. So that's that. Now I've also got 5 scrap for Barnabas. I got to level 11 while exploring. I've explored as far north as that. I've uncovered another shrine. As I said, I'm not going to do these shrines now. I'm going to do them all in one go. So I've got a video of me shooting around, getting the shrines, showing you where all the shrines are in Act 1. Come and talk to Barnabas. You'll get a bunch of XP. You don't get any DC rep yet. You get another quest, and the quest is to go in here. I won't spoil too much of it. You go in here, it's a 2-level dungeon area. You work your way through it, you kill the boss at the end, there's a shrine in there. I'll leave that footage out. I'll be back here when I've done that. Right, I've just completed the quest down in that trapdoor thing and I've come back out. Return to Barnabas. When you talk to him, this will become your second inventory bag. It's a quest reward. So you get a load of rep, 100 rep, 500 XP, extra inventory bag. So there it is. You've got another inventory bag now, and you'll get another 3 of those in normal difficulty. You won't get the 5th one until you're in elite difficulty. There's no way around that, but those 4 bags will be plenty. Oh, I haven't killed Pharos and Julius. I've done Negan. I'll do them in a minute so you can see what happens with him. When you complete the Kasparov skill point quest and you complete the Barnabas stuff, you can go in here and talk to Bourbon. He's now moved into his office, and what he'll do is he'll say, yeah, that's great, I got to Burrich Village.
Good, you're back. One of my scouts, you've proven yourself. Follow the
right. Bunch of XP and some stuff. I'm ready. You're not friendly yet though. Rovers, I think I've got 500 rep with them because I found some guys in a cave and I did a Slith necklace quest. Nothing to do with DC, so don't worry too much about that, but I've got some Rovers rep. I've not killed Milton Heart yet, so I'm going to go and do a few more things. I'll try and rescue the Blacksmith as well. I'll show you where that is, and then we'll have most of the NPCs sorted in Devil's Crossing. I'm going to go and kill Pharos, Julius, Milton Heart. I might get as far as doing that, but I think what I'll do is I'll get the Blacksmith sorted first and show you where he is and how to get him and where he ends up inside the prison, and then I'll go and do that thing there. I'll be right back. Right, let's talk about blacksmiths. So I'm a long way away from Devil's Crossing. Devil's Crossing is down here. I'm at the furthest north rift I've reached, which is Burrich Outskirts Rift, which is there. It's that thing there. There it is. When you get to, you'll come out of there. The main quest will take you through the flooded passage. You'll come out, you'll get to this. There's this group of guys in here. If you talk to them, I can't do this, this is all too much. I miss real food. And we've all suffered and all this. Where did it all go wrong? I don't know, mate. So you talk to this guy, Duncan. He gives you a quest to find someone called Angrim. My master, Angrim. Angrim wants to field an army. I want to defend Devil's Crossings. Blah, blah, blah. Blacksmith, get the quest. So you've got a choice now. You go and find Angrim, who's over to the east. And you either recruit Angrim as your blacksmith or you recruit Duncan. Now, it's not the wrong choice. If you pick one of them, you won't regret it. You won't be there going, oh no, it's terrible, it's the end of the world. What you need to know is they do have a couple of unique items they can make. Duncan has a unique pistol. I think it's a fire damage pistol. It's pretty good. He also makes a thing called an occult horn, which is a poison damage offhand. Now, because I'm playing a poison damage character, I'm going to get him so I can craft that. Angrim has got a decent two-handed weapon that does a load of bleeding damage and physical damage, stuff like that. If you get one of them and you think, oh no, I got the wrong one, don't worry about it. It's only if you are a horrendous min-maxer like me and you'll think, I've got to have that. You don't have to. It's not the end of the world if you choose the wrong guy. So what I'll do, I'll run across to where Angrim is. I'll cut that footage out and I'll just show you the dialogue options that you have when you get to talk to him. Right, I've killed everything around here so they won't interrupt the conversation. So all I've got to do is master getting across the bridge. This is Angrim. Now, if you look at the local map, that's where Duncan is that gives you the quest. So you go straight across here and that's where Angrim is, your quest target. So when you talk to him, you can start talking to him about various stuff. I'm here for the manual. This is the blacksmithing hammer thing that Duncan asked you to get. So you can fight him. Don't do that. I mean, you can if you want, but I don't. Duncan needs it to help the refugees. So you still haven't completely gone either way on this. If you go, it's time the hammer was passed on, he'll give you it so you can give it to Duncan. If you do, I have a group in Devil's Crossing, he will join you and he will be the blacksmith in Devil's Crossing. So I'm going to choose it. It's time the hammer was passed on. And then this is it. This is the point of no return here. Side with Duncan. I will see that his work benefits humanity and gives me all the gear that I need. Boom. Right. So you've now got the Malian men here. Thank you. And it's there. There it is. There's the quest item. Now what you'll notice here is I had a few blueprints drop. I haven't read them yet, so I want to show you the default stuff that the blacksmith can craft if you've come in here on a fresh start with nothing, and that's the stuff that you can do right from the start of the game. Then I will read these blueprints and show you that he can craft that stuff. So what we'll do is go back to where Duncan is. If you side with Angrim, he just teleports straight to DC. If you side with Duncan, you've got to go and tell him first. I've done it, whatever. See you there. And you think, well, what's going on here? Well, if you go back to DC, he will now be there. Or Angrim, whichever one you chose. So we're in Devil's Crossing. You go into, actually, I killed all these guys. Where is it? Return to Harmond. So he told me to kill 3 things. I've killed them. I felt vindicated. And he says go and kill 2 more. So you now got to kill 2 more for him. And then that's his quest finished and there's no more for him. I also killed Milton Hart. And I've got his amulet, which is that item there. So I talked to her. She was the quest giver, and that's her done. Unfortunately, Milton's level 14, whatever. You get a halfway decent amulet for doing that thing there. If it's better than what you've got, wear it. I went and farmed one of those putrid necklaces because I knew where to get it from. Don't worry too much about that. Right, so the blacksmith, whoever you chose, will spawn here. So after an initial chat about how great everything is, you get some XP. You don't get any Devil's Crossing rep, which is a bit strange, but you get XP. And he is now available as a crafter. So if you, let's walk away from him for a sec. So if you click on Smith, you can see it flashing just there. So you've now got your smuggler who was always there. You haven't got the inventor yet. You've got 3 vendors. You've got 2 normal vendors and a faction vendor. You've got the spirit guide and you've got the blacksmith. Now, this is a fresh start. This is what you will get if you rescue the blacksmith and you haven't read any blueprints. You go and see he can craft relics. Default relics, calamity, equilibrium, ruination. he can craft a bunch of weapons. Okay, so there's all this stuff he can do. You can do two-handed melee stuff. You're not completely excluding yourself from two-handed melee if you choose Duncan. It's just Angrim has got a unique one that is decent that he can do, right? Guns, double barrel pistol, that's the unique thing that he can do that Angrim can't craft. So if you really, really, really want one of those, then you have to pick Duncan. He's got a bunch of stuff here. Now, I was talking about the poison damage offhand is this occult horn. That's the thing that Duncan can craft that Angrim can't craft. If you get that level 15, if you're going to do poison stuff, particularly if you're going to do Dreeg's Evil Eye stuff, get one of them. There's a better item you can farm from Witch Doctor guys, but that's guaranteed if you get Duncan. If you don't get Duncan, you won't get that. Like I said, it's not the end of the world because there's better items out there, but you have to go and target farm them. And you've got a whole load of accessories. There's some medals that you can craft. There's an amulet and there's a ring, so you can craft this stuff. If you haven't got a medal, I've got several that have dropped in the world. I've got these down here. I'd say, and I've got an amulet that dropped, and I also had that thing that I found. If you, unless you've got like a really bad selection, I mean that one's okay. Physique, cunning, spirit, XP, whatever. Craft one, but don't go. That's got decent resistances on it, as has that, and it's got a bunch of health, and so is that. They just take different things to craft. But the thing I was talking about, yeah, I'm not going to craft one of those, but I could. So what you will see here is that's all the stuff you can do without you needing to read any blueprints. So he's useful right from the start. Now I've got here, that is a one-handed sword. So I'll read that by right-clicking on it. You've learned how to craft omen. That's some ointment. Let's learn how to craft that. And that is Guardsman's breastplate. Like I said, those three things dropped while I was running around. I didn't read them until now. So if you come in here, what you'll see is there's relic isn't flashing and gun isn't flashing. That's flashing, that's flashing, that's flashing. That means you've got a new item that you haven't acknowledged on that screen. It's just to tell you it's there. So if you scroll down, we'll see a little arrow pointing. There's a little arrow pointing at Omen. Click on that, the arrow disappears, and that will stop flashing. Guardsman's breastplate, same deal, that will stop flashing. And if you scroll right down, all the recipes are down. Here we go, that thing's down there. So those are the ones that are there by default. That's the one I just picked up. So now nothing's flashing because I've acknowledged that I've got all those new things on there. So we're getting there now. The only thing we don't have, there's an optional kind of chat only NPC you can rescue called Elgrim. Will come and stand here. I'll go and get him in a minute. And there is the Inventor, who will be in this room, standing right there when I rescue her. So I'll get that stuff done, and I'll see you very soon. If you want to rescue optional dude Elgrim, you need to work your way up from, that's where the Burrich outskirts rift is. You head kind of northwestish and then northeastish. Burrich village is up here. So the Burrich village rift is closer to Elgrim. However, I found him on my way up. You go and talk to him. We need a cook, whatever. He's more of a story guy than anything else, but he appears in DC, so he's part of this guide. I killed the other two things that he wanted me to kill. It was sad, thank you. There's no more to do for him now, he doesn't give you anything else. Elgrim's over here. We talk to him. You get some rep, which is important because I'm now friendly. If you notice with DC, I'm now friendly. That means I can pick up a quest to collect fabric from this lady here. She's now got an exclamation mark. She didn't have them before. She's only got that because we got friendly rep. What do you need? I'll get the fabric. And that's near Burrich village. I won't show you that quest getting completed, but I'll show you what happens when I hand the fabric in. Right, so I'll go back to where I came from. That's where Elgrim was. Next stop, Burrich village, and I'll get the cultist orders to enable me to kill Direni. and I'll grab the fabric, and I'll see you back in Devil's Crossing very soon. When you get up to the Burrich Village Rift, which is there, go into this house, kick the door in, kill anything you need to kill, search this lectern, pick up the cultist orders. What you'll notice as soon as you pick this up is you get Confront Direni at Devil's Crossing. So you can do that, but what we'll do is we'll go and get the fabric first and then complete all this stuff in one go, and I'll go and rescue Kasparov's assistant. But that's where you get the cultist orders from for Direni. Actually, let's do Direni first, otherwise you'll forget what I was talking about. Now what you can do, you can cheat a little bit here. Because you can do this in normal, elite. He's only got a question mark over his head because I've cleared that rift at Burrich. I'm not going to cash it in yet. Actually, I will.
Have you found a rift gate in Burwich?
Yeah, I have. I'm going to kill Warden Krieg. So he then gives you the quest to kill Warden Krieg, which is technically the end of the Act 1 stuff, the main campaign stuff. As Direni's got a question mark over his head. What you can do, it's a bit of a cheat, you can put the cultist orders in your personal stash, and then in Elite all you've got to do is click on them and put them back, and you'll activate the quest without going to Burrich. I'm going to kill Direni because that's the kind of guy I am. So you could do explain yourself. He'll give you a key which you can get in a random drop. I would say kill him because, you know, he's a bad guy and you're going to get a guaranteed rare crafting item for doing this. Go and talk to Bourbon and say I killed Direni. And what you'll get is you'll get 1,000 iron, 500 DC rep, which at the start of the game is well worth getting, 500 XP, and this Blood of Chthon, which is a rare crafting item. There it is. You usually get them from killing hero boss kind of things out of totems or in the world or whatever. Actually, as with all this stuff, put it in your shared stash. I've got in here my original salt bag, whatever. I've got a spare Slith necklace from a quest, and I've got that. You can put quest items in your personal stash. You can't put them in shared stash. Not specific quest items. I mean, crafting gear that you can put in stash, you can put in there. Right, I'm going to go and complete the rest of that stuff and then come back here and show you what's going on. To rescue the Inventor, you need to come to this area here. So the Burrich Village Rift is down here. You can either go around that way or this way. If you come this way, the fabric quest is in this dock area. If you've got the fabric quest and you get into this area, the 3 bits of fabric will be in crates that will be highlighted with gold stars there. So then come across here, you might have a blocked path to contend with, but eventually you get into this area by the shrine. You'll know you're in the right place because you will see this desecrated shrine, as with the others. I'm not going to do the shrine fight now because I'm going to do a separate video all about the Act 1 shrines, and I need them to be unactivated. There is a doorway here. Go into the cellar. Come into the cellar, kill a few dogs that are hanging around. Come down here, kick this door in. Rescue Darlet. Here is Darlet, okay? Kasparov sent me safe journey. Immediately, well, alright, I'd say immediately go back to DC, but what you can do is you can go and get the next rift before you do that, which is what I'm going to do. Right, as I said, all I did was ran on to the next rift, so I haven't got to do a lot of backtracking. So what have we got to do here? Collect fabric, got it, speak to Darlet. Okay, so Darlet, that you just rescued, is here. You're welcome. So you get 100 DC rep, 600 XP, and Darlet becomes the Inventor. So if you click on that, you can see her little icon flashing on the map. If you click on her, at the moment, the only thing you can do is salvage. So if you have a component, let's just take one of them for example. Say you have that component on your hat, okay? It gives you physique, cunning and spirit, and you find something better that you wanted to put on there. You put the hat in there. Now keep add-on will destroy the helmet. Keep item will destroy the component and remove any augments. If you've got an augments are much later in the game, like from level 40 odd onwards, you can independently remove the augments without damaging that stuff. But what I want to do is keep the hat. So I do keep item. Choosing to salvage the item will destroy the attached component and remove any augments. So you do get a prompt to tell you what's going to happen. And then you can have a hat back with no component on it. So that's what she's used for at the moment. The other option there, transmute. Again, if you've not got the DLCs, that won't be there. There's a Forgotten Gods quest to unlock the transmutability. So if you've got a set item, you can transmute it into another different set item. Again, I'm not going to go into detail on that. It's not the point of this video. Okay, so I collected the fabric. This was the quest you get, friendly from this lady up here. Oh God, come on, stop hanging up on the scenery. Talk to her. Here it is. Boom. You get a load of rep, 250, you get a load of XP, and you get something that she's made, which may or may not be better than what you're currently wearing. It is that thing there. It's a level 20 item. I think it's always a level 20 item in normal. It's got vitality, resistance, ether, resistance elementals, energy regen, bit of health, bit of defensive ability. If you haven't found anything absolutely brilliant by now, you might as well wear that. That's pretty much okay. So everyone is here. We have a stash guy. We have the inventor. We have loads of vendors. The one we rescued, the default one, the faction guy. We've got a spirit guide, and we've got a blacksmith. That's pretty much it for DC. You are sorted now. You've got all your useful NPCs here. You've got your optional ones that are just there for lore and talking to and whatever. You completed some quests, and all that's left to do, for me anyway, is complete the main campaign quest, and I'm done. I'm level 16, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, but he didn't mention so and so, he didn't say this, he missed this out, I may well have done. It might be stuff I take for granted. Feel free to drop a comment. If any of this has been useful and you feel like dropping a comment, that'll be appreciated. But you know, if you watch it and you get something out of it, that's really the whole point of doing these videos. As I said, the next one I do, I'm going to do an Act 1 shrine video thing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one I didn't get to yet, there are 7. So I'll show you how to get the 7 shrines. I'll show you what the prerequisites are. I'll show you if you need components to unlock them and all that stuff. And I'll give you a guide as to where you might want to put your first 7 devotion points from Act 1, depending on what kind of build you're playing. That video should be up next. I don't know, it shouldn't take too long because I'm going to use this character and this save slot. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll catch you all in the next video very soon.